Are you guys ready to do a podcast?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're clean on this show.
Tone would love to have me, but
Are we allowed to?
Whoa!
You know what? And I'm gonna
You
double
saw-
down. You would love to have me too, Ball.
How deep are you? You know what I'm saying? Like how deep can you go? All right, bro.
Hey, yo, James, don't call him directly because he might cut you out. Call me first and I'll transfer you.
What does that mean? Whoa! Yeah, he started jumping on it. Can you feel it? Can you smell it? Do you smell what the book is cooking? Yeah, what I like to say is movement fails opportunity when opportunity fails to move. That's awkward. Oh, welcome into the show. Welcome back to the show. This has been an interesting day of basketball, and we're going to tell you all about it. Welcome back to the show. This is Gumball Sports Machine, where we laugh, we hug, we cry, we smile. Most importantly, we are positive for the most part. We have our moments. And as always, I'm not alone. I'm joined by my uncle, my OG, my dog, my co-host, Triple OG Tone. Tone, what's the dealio, Fulio?
What's going on? What's going on?
See, you're decked out and
I got them colors on. You know what I'm saying?
Are you gangbanging?
Yep, I'm repping. We might only be able to rep, a couple more times. So you got to rep hard.
Hopefully. Whoa. Oh. Okay. All right. I guess we can move on now. And of course, as next we have David Largo, D-Lo, aka co-host D-Lo, David Largo, and I think he has a statement to make.
Oh my, that's nasty work. That's nasty. How rude.
Oh, there he is. Look at him. Look at that smile.
I'm
Look
rising.
at that smile.
I'm rising from the dead. All right. Just listen. I'm here for a bloodbath today.
You know what? And the bloodbath will be had. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna muster up all the energy I can. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna muster up all the energy that I can and all the hatred that I have for all of your teams, and I'm gonna use that to produce this show. And lastly, of course, we have the maybe the person in the group we need to kind of hug and bring him up. And of course, he's I like to call him the brains of the group. We have Kev. Kev, how are you doing, man? You doing good?
I grab like a bottle of cognac and take a sip off of that bottle.
What did you call it?
Cognac.
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 Okay. Cognac.
Cognac.
Okay. This is not a good start to the show, fellas.
Is this one of those Kevin Garnett moments?
I would say that Jamal Charles moments.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh, is there a reason why you? Well, I feel like there's been other people who've been drinking incidents that don't have the name Jamal. I feel like you could have used one of them.
No, because I mean, you didn't see Jamal Charles announce on the draft pick for the Chiefs that one time.
No.
He was like, San Fran City or something like that. I'm like, bro, so he just can't read.
Oh, gotta love athletes. Gotta love athletes. You know. All right. Well, how about fellas? What do you say we start the show? All right. Something to chew on, the first segment of this show in which we go over some of the top sports stories of the day. And you know, again, this might sound crazy. It's not gonna be too much in something to chew on. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of the stuff in something to chew on we will go over more more in depth here a little bit in the show. Let's start off with the Celtics. The Celtics steamrolled the Knicks, and I wish I had the score up here. That'd be a little bit 127-102. They beat him by 25 without, of course, Jason Tatum. Let's talk about Jason Tatum first. Jason Tatum, official yesterday, tore his Achilles. He will be out at least for the next year or so. Tone, obviously, Jason Tatum's your guy. He's your guy on your favorite team. What was your reaction to this?
Real tears. No, just he's a generational talent. He's been holding it down for the C's. He and JB, and it's sad to see him go down. And hope he has a speedy recovery. Because we paid him a lot of money, so we need him back.
D'Lo, what was your reaction to Tatum tearing his Achilles?
Yeah, it's tough, and I think it only made it worse. There was a report today that he was talking with his dad, and he was saying, why me? Why this got to happen to me of all people? And that really hurts. Wishing him a speedy recovery. I hope that we see him at some point next year, although I doubt it, especially with it coming this late in the year. But I hope that he makes a full recovery because Achilles, they're no joke.
Kev, what are you thinking? How'd you feel when the news came out about Jason Tatum?
It's sad. It's sad to see someone, top 5 caliber of an athlete go down with an injury that bad, that gruesome. I honestly think this might actually help him even improve his game even more. I feel like he's gonna get in the lab. He's gonna work on his game and improve on get another part of his game. So I feel like it's gonna help him reach mentally. It's gonna help him reach another level part of his game that he hasn't reached yet. And I think he would only get better coming back from this injury.
Yeah, it's sad to see. I agree with all of you. Obviously, again, Tone's my dog, so I get on him about the Celtics and things like that. But these guys are human at the end of the day, and so when you go through an injury like that, it hurts. You're losing a year of your career. Now, he's young. I think if there's a silver lining, he is still young. It's not like he's mid to late 30s or anything like that. It's not like his career is over, but he is in the prime of his career. So he's losing a year of his prime. And you see a lot of the guys after they have major injuries like this, like an Achilles, like an ACL, things like that, their game drops off. I'm hoping that's not the case. I hope he has a KD type comeback in terms of his recovery from his Achilles. But yeah, I'm praying for him. I'm praying for a speedy recovery. I'm hoping, I'm praying for him and his family and for him to get back. The WNBA gets started up this Saturday. The regular season tips off this Saturday. The top 3 favorites to win the WNBA championship are the New York Liberty, have the most favored odds. Then it's the Fever, and then it's the Aces, the Lynx, and then the Mercury at number 5. David Largo, you and I are probably, and again, Tone and Kev, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think D'Lo and I kind of pay the most attention to the WNBA. We watched a lot of it last year. D'Lo, who right now, if you were to pick a champion, who would you pick the 2025 WNBA champion to be?
It's hard to overlook the Liberty, but I'm not gonna lie. When you didn't say the Aces at 2, I was actually really shocked. I didn't think that, like obviously the Fever, thing, Caitlin Clark, he, we talked about her, but um, I think that the Aces probably have the best shot of winning this year in particular. Um, so that's my answer. It'll be interesting though.
Tone, if you were to pick a champion right now for the WNBA season, who would it be?
Yeah, I'd have to second what D'Lo said. I think Asia's gonna have a hell of a year, man. Um, I got her for MVP again too.
Kev, who you thinking? Who you think wins the WNBA championship? Who's your pick right now?
Um, like to quote what Lo said, I was surprised that the Fever were ahead of them because it was just 2 seasons ago where they were the top pick in the draft. So I understand Caitlin Clark is a superstar caliber player. I just think the Aces they've recently won a chip, so it's kind of like disrespectful not to have them even in the top one. So it kind of caught me by surprise, but it's either Liberty or Aces were my two picks.
As much as I would like to say, my home team, the Mercury, they did upgrade this year. They went out and got Seitu Sabali. They still have one of the best scorers in the league in Kalia Copper. And then you go out and get the former MVP runner-up in Alyssa Thomas. So they have a big three now in Phoenix. That's going to be fun to watch. Alyssa Thomas, again, one of the best players in the league. It's going to be fun to watch. As much as I would like to say them, again, when you have teams like the Liberty, when you have teams like the Aces who have, Asia Wilson. Now they did trade away Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum is now in the Sparks. So I think that's a big loss, but you still have Chelsea Gray. You still have Jackie, I forget her last name. But the guard. You still have pieces on that team that can play. You still the Liberty. You have your big two. You have Sabrina Ionescu. You have Brianna Stewart. You go out and get Natasha Cloud, a facilitating and defending guard. They got better. And it's gonna be interesting to see. If I had to pick a champion right now, this moment, I would probably go the Aces. Just because actually it's funny. It's funny. It's funny that Gucci brought it up. Gucci's always in the chat.
Gucci.
The Liberty got lucky.
That's why I was over here laughing.
Yeah.
I think the Liberty did get a little lucky last year. I think Sabrina did not play well down the stretch in that finals run. Brianna Stewart was okay. Jonquel Jones was really good. She was really good last year. So it's going to be interesting to see. Definitely looking forward to the WNBA season. Former NFL quarterback Derek Carr announced his retirement this past week. Derek Carr, of course, playing for the Raiders as well as the Saints. He played 11 years in the league. Kevin, what was your reaction to see Derek Carr? I think it's kind of out of nowhere. What was your reaction to see Derek Carr announce his retirement?
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard because he wasn't at like the end of his career. He didn't play as good last year. He's known to throw some hospital balls. So it kind of caught me off guard because it's not like Derek Carr is a bum. Yeah, he played bad last year, but I don't know, it just kind of caught me off guard. I thought they were going to run it back with him, especially because they didn't really draft a quarterback. Everyone's saying Tyler, they drafted Tyler, but he's not the franchise quarterback in my opinion. So I don't know, it just kind of surprised me by the early retirement.
D'Lo, what do you think of Derek Carr retiring?
Yeah, it was a shock to me too because I again thought he was an instant lock for starter in New Orleans again this year. But it happens, and New Orleans is going to be hopefully blessed with a top quarterback in 2026 because they don't have one.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, they do not have I think a franchise QB in that room. So Carr going earlier than I thought, it was definitely a shock for sure.
And we got them in week one, the Saints. And if we don't win, I am now a fully Patrick Mahomes fan. He's now my number one team.
My
You're
God.
gonna cry.
Tone, what'd you think of Derek Carr retiring?
Well, first of all, I didn't see that in my news feed, so you just caught me off guard. And then now I'm double caught off guard.
I aim to please.
But
Just say it.
But yeah, again, I second what the fella said. I didn't think players are retiring a little earlier than they used to, though. So, I'm sure for just reasons. And he had a decent career. He was no superstar. He's no top. We're not gonna put him in any of those talks, but he had a decent career.
Yeah, Derek Carr, he had his moments for sure. Derek Carr, I think if in 2016 when the Raiders went 13-3, if he doesn't get hurt, I think he wins MVP that year. I think he was that good. I think he was that dominant. He was fantastic that year, and he's had his moments. I just not enough of them. To Tone's point, like he was really good at times, and he was also really bad at other times. Yeah, you put him in the middle of the pack quarterback. He wasn't your all pro guy. He wasn't your MVP guy, but he also wasn't your, fourth, fifth string guy. So Derek Carr was definitely good. He was middle of the pack quarterback, and all the way, all the well to him. I wish him well. However that saying goes. Lastly, this has nothing to do with sports. I thought this was insane. There was a woman that tweeted out, my man paid my rent this month, and I bought him Wingstop. 50-50. So I thought I'd bless your guys' evening with that.
So
it depends though. Like what'd she get from Wingstop for him? Like
no, that's not.
Bro,
did she buy the Wingstop franchise?
I'd be smacking some Wingstop.
Glow, you're making us men look bad right now. We are not selling for less, D-Lo. Come on, man.
Yeah. So
hey, man. Listen, I was raised to provide, and so I don't really see an issue with it.
No, it's not an issue, but why would she go out and express?
Yeah, see the tweet is unnecessary.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what's wrong with society is that she's actually sharing that with that.
The tweet is unnecessary, but what I think he did, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
But it's not. But it's not I hope she doesn't believe that's 50-50. Actually.
As long as she got the order right, we on the money.
I guess that's
she got the 4-piece.
Now, if she brought me JoJo order, I'm gonna be tight. Like, hold on.
It's a lot of big back activities.
You got this order memorized. Hold on. What's up with you?
It's a lot of big back activities going on here. It's too early in the show for us to be big backing. Anyways, all right. Sorry, I wanted to point that out. That is something to chew on. Again, first segment of the show in which we go over the top sports stories of the day. Now let's move on to the basketball that happened.
Live time score update 104-93.
Yeah, they came back. They was down 25. Now they're down 11
with 5 minutes remaining. So
yeah, it's enough time.
If the Warriors win tonight, they most likely get Steph back on Sunday, I believe. Game 6 will be. And then it's really going to get interesting. But let's talk about that first. Let's talk about that first game of the night, gentlemen. The Boston Celtics absolutely, had their way with the Knicks. Kind of.
Let me get ready.
Oh, the glasses came off. Oh, okay. Now I'm uncomfortable, so I'll just put that. This when you look at this game, it's really everybody stepped up wearing green today. Al Horford was fantastic. I think he made some big plays. Drew Holiday made some timely threes. Jaylen Brown and Derek White was fantastic. Derek White was the best player on the floor. Jaylen Brown was really, really good today. He had 26 points, 12 assists, his playoff career high. And I'm sure Tone's going to mention him. The MVP for the Celtics today was Luke Kornet. Luke Kornet, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks, 6 of which came in the second half alone. Everybody was just fantastic for the Celtics. Aside from KP, Porzingis, Kristaps Porzingis. You know, I'm sure we'll get to him eventually. Peyton Pritchard was also really, really good. He made timely shots. The Knicks struggled. They couldn't get anything going. Jalen Brunson fouled out late in the fourth quarter, maybe about 4 or 5 minutes remaining in the game. He wasn't. I mean, he was okay, I guess. 22 points. Josh Hart was pretty good. 24. Nobody else stepped up though. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns
had 5 fouls in the third.
Like it's not how you go win a playoff game. Yeah, it's not. And I've seen him win a playoff game. And so they gotta step up in game 6 at home. And this is again, I called game 4 a must-win game for the Knicks. Game 6 is a must-win game because if you go back to Boston for game 7, anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially in the Garden. But Tone, you know, your boys got one today. They stayed alive. What do you think of your boys tonight?
I think they did it for Tatum, man. I mean, I know they did it for the team, but I think they had a little bit extra energy, a little bit more aggression. They came out with a little bit more of a dogfight than they have past games in the series. JB was guarding 94. You know, like he was everywhere. He was diving. Luke Cornett, again, like you said, 7 blocks. I seen Drew look like he had his young legs today. Derek White stepped up offensively. Sam Hauser hit a couple big buckets. Like you said, Pritchard. It was a team effort, man. It was a great game. It's crazy because even Joe did stuff tonight that he didn't do all series, like certain timeouts to get people in the foul. Torrey Craig came in for 30 seconds just to foul, and then went out. And it didn't really work, but it just broke up the game, and sometimes it messes with people mentally. Like just the strategy, and to me, it was a little bit upsetting that we waited this long to do it, but it was a great win, man. And I hope JB can do it again because he definitely led. Again, he played with that level of aggression that we needed. I'm definitely thinking. I wrote a couple people that like y'all gonna win tonight. I'm like, yeah, I think we'll win tonight, and then the Knicks will probably finish us off when we get back to New York. But again, it's a great team win for the Celtics, man. We get to celebrate tonight.
Kev, would you? You know what, Kev is preoccupied.
I'm
What are we
good.
laughing at?
I'm good.
I don't know. Kev, what'd you think of it? Actually, no, real quick. Let me get to man. See, Gucci makes some good points because Derek White, he said he was good, but he did get in a little bit of foul trouble there late. And he also said he picked Boston to win. You know, the refs they were blowing their whistle tonight. Again, you know, you saw Jalen Brunson foul out. Karl Anthony Towns got into a little bit of foul trouble. And then I think the biggest thing is, can Jaylen Brown do it again? Can he do it again on the road? Like Gucci said, he's going to have to go to MSG and perform the way he did today and possibly even better, because who knows if we're going to get a performance like that from Derek White again. So, again, he was fantastic today. Performance like that from Derek White and Luke Cornett. So JB is going to have to step up and be the player that, you know, people believe him to be. So, but Kevin, what'd you see from tonight?
I'll keep it pretty short and simple. Only because it wasn't like close of a game. It was kind of like pretty much a blowout from the whole second half. I think Missoula drew up an excellent game plan that we've seen from this series. It's probably the best game that we've seen from them. I know the previous game on Saturday, I know they won big, but I don't know, they look impressive tonight, especially with no Tatum. So props to them. Props to the Celtic Nation. And they were hitting their threes today. And it's like all of us say, they live and die by the three. And if they make the threes, they're surviving and they're surviving big time. So when they make the threes, it's beautiful, but when they miss, it can get pretty ugly.
Yeah, they were 22-49. They made 22 threes today. And again, that's been the Celtics all year. They live and die by the three. So they're a 3-and-D team. They've been that ever since they won the championship last year. And so when something ain't broke, you don't fix it. And so they've shown that all year. D'Lo, what'd you see from today?
Yeah, it was really just a team effort all around. I I think that JB was the star of today, like he should be. Obviously, Derek White had a great game today, and they're going to need that from him if they want to win two more and overcome this 3-1 deficit. But I think JB was the key. He was aggressive. He was getting to his spots, and he was getting other people involved. You mentioned it, playoff high, 12 assists today. Like that's what they need. Um, but the other guys also stepped up. Luke Cornett turned into prime Bill Russell today for some reason, off the bench, and you love to see that. But um, if the Knicks don't win Game 6, it might get ugly. Um, so I think this is a must-win game for New York coming up, because if they don't in the Garden, I don't know.
Yeah, like I mentioned, anything can happen. Anything can happen because of how good and balanced this Celtics team is. Anything can happen in that Game 7, and so I think right now, if you're the Knicks, you are banking on Derek White not having the game that he just had. You're banking on Luke Cornett not having the game that he just had. You're banking on Drew Holiday kind of being what he's been throughout the playoffs. Not very good. He's kind of looked a little limp. He hasn't been very good. He's kind of looked his age. So you're banking on things like that. But you also have to bank on Jalen Brunson going to get you a bucket and going to get you 30 like he's been. You have to bank on Cat being aggressive and OG being aggressive and Mikal being aggressive on both ends of the floor. That's the biggest thing to me. And like I said, today I think the MVP for the Celtics was Luke Cornett. He was fantastic. He almost had a triple-double with blocks. First of all, Luke Cornett having a triple-double, not on my bingo card for my entire life. But the way that he played today and what he did, that was fantastic. He was fantastic. But as for the Celtics, are you banking on him having another game? Now, I see Jaylen Brown having 35 to 40 points in Game 6. I think he's going to be aggressive. I think because he's going to have to be. He's their best player right now. And so when you have somebody like that going for 35, 40, you're going to need people to follow up. You're going to need people to, come along. You're going to need Peyton Pritchard to have a game like he did today. You're going to need Derek White. You don't need him. If Jaylen Brown is going to score 35, you don't need Derek White to score 35. You just kind of can you give him 20? Can you give him 22, 23? Peyton Pritchard, can you give the Celtics 20, 22? Al Horford, can you hit a couple threes? KP, how are you feeling? Do you need to go to urgent care and take you a couple shots in the butt? I'm just saying. Yeah, what's going on there? So I mean,
yeah, 12 minutes today.
He didn't play in the second half.
1 point, 1 rebound.
He's got to be better. He's got to be better.
We could be better.
Yeah, he's got to be better. And I think in order for them to win, here's the thing. In order for the Celtics to come back, I don't think Porzingis needs to be great. I don't think he needs to be even good. I think Jaylen Brown has to be the superstar. And I think Derek White and Drew Holiday and Peyton Pritchard, I think they have to come along for the ride. Because if Jaylen Brown is doing it by himself, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. He's going to have somebody to help him score the basketball. And also stop the other team from scoring the basketball. And Jalen Brunson and OG and Cat and Mikal Bridges and Deuce McBride, who was really good today. In MSG. And that place is going to be rocking. It's going to be interesting to see. Kev, are you ready for this awkward conversation? The Cavs were eliminated. The number 1 seed Cavaliers were eliminated yesterday by the Indiana Pacers, who are going back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row. The Cavs controlled the game for the most part in the first half. They were up double digits. DeAndre Hunter was playing some good basketball. Donovan Mitchell was being aggressive. But the second half, I mean, the Pacers just turned it up. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton was fantastic. He 6 of 10 from 3, 10 of 15. He had 31 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Quite possibly one of his best games in the playoffs so far. Aaron Nesmith, he was offensively he was okay, but I mean he rebounded the ball. He had 13 rebounds. He had 2 steals. Siakam was okay. He had 21, 5 assists, 8 boards. Andrew Nembhard did his thing. 18, 7, 11, 36 from 3. And the Pacers just did that. They're well-rounded, and that's what they showed yesterday and throughout the entire playoffs as well as this series. Kevin, what do you have to say about your boys, man? Again, they're the number 1 seed. They won 64 games this year, and you lose in the second round to a 4 seed. What's your reaction?
I just think, well, Garland missing a couple of key games really messed us up as a rotation wise because Mitchell had to do so much as a playmaker and as a scorer. Mobley and Hunter, they missed the second game. That was crucial for us because we blew that lead in the fourth pretty bad too. So if we had won that game, it could have been a different turnout of the series. It's just lots of mistakes, lots of not being prepared for the series, and it got to us. It got to the Cavs. Indy just played harder. They played with more grit, more determination to win the series. So I mean, props to them. Props to Tyrese, Pascal, Nembhard, all those guys. They beat us and they beat us pretty bad. So I mean, we just gotta see how they do in the ECF. But for Cleveland, I think it's time to go back and look what's next for this upcoming season.
Tone, I saw you keying a little bit. What was that all about at the beginning of Kevin's remarks?
Somebody's being evil with that photo.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Real petty. But yeah. It's just kind of disrespectful how you would do your homie like that. It's just rude. You got to get him back, Kev.
No, we already did our damage in the playoffs in the first round. That's something that's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Your team beat his team. That's right.
I mean, that's pretty much all that needs to be said.
That's what I'm talking about, Kev. Don't stoop down to his level. My dog. Because
I mean, you already know what it is on this show. We gotta be positive. We gotta be professional. So no need to be petty. You know.
I respect it. Oh, hold on. I thought you was I could have been talking about the game. Yeah, but
I thought you were talking about the game. No, I went to go look for my belt.
Right back. So I'm thinking you gonna be right back. Like you was. I thought you was. I didn't know.
I went to go look for my belt, but I couldn't find it.
Crazy. Yeah, he did go. He was going to be disrespectful. That's crazy. But
welcome to Cancun.
No shoot.
Sorry, I had to get that out.
Don't worry, I got you.
Attaboy.
Right there, boom.
Damn it.
Pacers and 5. All right, my bad, Tom. All right, what'd you see from the game?
I think it was just horrible matchups for the number 1 seed in the East. If you look at players like Naismith, he matches up with Hunter very well. And then you got Holly Bird. What do they call it? What's the song?
With the Helly?
With the Helly Bird.
With the Helly.
Yeah, with the Helly Bird. My fault.
The Helly Bird.
It just matches up bad against Donovan because he's taller, paws, and longer. And then you got a man Nembhard against DG, who was actually hindered, he's like a damn near version of DG because he's quick and he got that right left, and it's bad matchups for them. Then you got the bigs who can space the floor. It was really bad matchups for this early. I don't want to say this early. It's the second round, but and then with the Cavs, the injuries, I just don't think they really had the best chance that they could have had. But I mean, it's the playoffs, it's the NBA. Nobody's gonna hand out towels and napkins. You got to win when you got to win, and The Pacers are really good, man. The Pacers are really good. Whoever, I mean, it's likely to be the Knicks at this point. But like you guys said, who knows? Whoever wins that next Boston series, they're due for a run, man. The Pacers they're good. They're really good at basketball and they're tough.
All right, D'Lo. Best for last. Best for last. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want
Question
you.
for you.
I want you. I want you to lay it on thick.
Okay, so you don't want me to just talk about the game. Pause. I see. So wait, someone was looking. Hold on.
I don't know.
You
what
don't want me to just talk about the game. You want me to talk about it as a whole, correct?
I want you to take the microphone. Hold on. I want you to okay, yeah, I want you to take the microphone and I want you to scream into it how you feel about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Fraudulent.
Oh, okay.
Fraudulent. 2015 Hawks level of fraudulent. All right. Listen, they lost all 3 of their games at home. All 3 of them at home. They were 64-18. They were the second best team in the NBA record-wise.
34-7 at home this season.
34-7, and they lost all 3 at home. That it's not going to cut it. Halliburton was the best player on the floor in a closeout game in Cleveland. It's not going to cut it.
Donovan Mitchell had 20 points on 25 shots if you exclude his 15 free throws. That's not going to cut it. Darius Garland was 4 for 16 and 0 for 6 from 3. With 11 points?
That's not going to cut it. All right. Listen, they're fraudulent. They're exactly who I thought they were going to be. Okay. I know I picked them to win this series. I was picking that for respect that they blasted the Heat. But then I should have thought about it and realized that the Heat were a 10 seed and had no reason being there. Okay. If we were but, okay, we were but. That don't mean the Cavs were not also but. And I'm going to make some statements, and you can agree or you can disagree. But until things change, this is how I feel. Number one, Donovan Mitchell cannot be a number 1 player on a championship basketball team.
David Largo, I
otherwise.
don't think the people in the back heard you. Can you say that one more time for me, please?
Because I didn't believe it. I was against Maul in saying this because I had faith that he has had some great playoff games and that he could do it. Donovan Mitchell cannot be a number 1 basketball player on a championship basketball team until he proves otherwise. I don't want to hear it. Number 2, Darius Garland cannot be a number 2 on a championship basketball team. He is way too inconsistent for it. I don't care that he was hurt. 11 points, 4 for 16, 0 for 6 in a closeout game at home. I don't want to hear it. Until he proves otherwise, to me, he is a number 3 option. If Mobley wants to take the number 2, that's fine. Am I wrong?
No.
I don't think so. Do I think Evan Mobley can be a number 2 option offensively? I don't.
I'm with you.
I also think that the depoy was fraudulent. Was he on the floor defensively? It didn't seem like it. The entire Pacers roster was having their way. The entire roster, top to bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is it? Let me see. Hold on. Okay. The depth that we were talking about. We was talking Ty Jerome for 6th man of the year.
Where was he at this series? Where was he at? He had a great first round and then disappeared.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We were talking about Cav depth the entire year. Where was it at? Kenny Atkinson, you're down 3-1. Where are the adjustments from the coach of the year? There's nothing. There's no fight from this team in a closeout game at home. Win or go home. There was no fight. It was ugly. So until proven otherwise, I can't have faith in anyone in that Cavs roster. I think that they should blow it up. understand Jason Tatum is going to be out next year, but the Pacers aren't going anywhere.
This ain't going anywhere. The Knicks ain't going
The
anywhere.
Knicks ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
There are moves that are going to be made this offseason, so other teams may even get better. I think they blow it. I don't think that Donovan Mitchell can be the guy.
Well, David, let me tell you. First of all, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and Gucci also agrees with with a lot of what you're saying. Kevin, do you have a rebuttal? Do you have anything to say to what D'Lo thought about your team this year?
No, I'll just keep it professional.
No, okay. Again, this is why. But go, like, tell us. This is what the show is for.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
We can move
If
on.
he doesn't, I got a couple points.
Yeah, because I'm with you. So I gotta. You know what, Tony, you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one, I do think Donovan Mitchell can be a number one. You just have to surround him with the right pieces, and they have to have a little bit more continuity. And I'm not saying that he hasn't had it in the past. Sometimes the cards aren't. I've seen people have great seasons, and then things just don't pan out in the playoffs. Bad matchups. It happens. It has happened to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, my man Allen Iverson will have a championship right now, but he don't. And you know what I'm saying? He killed the league for numerous years. But back to if I'm the Cleveland, I would definitely find a little bit more spacing. You know what I'm saying? And then I would try to get rid of DG. I think they need more of a defensive person on the back end with Donovan Mitchell. And then he's strictly scoring. Like he doesn't have to take as much of the brunt defensively. And if you get him like a Dyson Daniels, you get him one of those type of players. I also think that this was the first year with Ty Jerome, right? This was the first year that Ty Jerome played for the Cleveland. Okay, so that team doesn't have as much continuity as other teams. They just don't. Being one of them be the Pacers. The Pacers actually they didn't add too many pieces this year.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The other piece that they added was to me someone who should have been starting that they got from the Atlanta Hawks, but they got him mid-season, and I feel like through the summer they will learn that he needs to be starting, and they will have a likely a better year next year. I do think they need to make some adjustments, but I don't think they need to blow it up. That team won 60-something games. They didn't win 60-something games on accident.
Doesn't seem like it.
To that point, when the Cavs went 15-0 to start the season, none of this was mentioned. When the Cavs traded for DeAndre Hunter, none of this was mentioned. We were talking on the trade deadline show. DeAndre Hunter might be one of the best pickups of the trade deadline. We weren't talking about the continuity. We weren't talking about Ty Jerome and the continuity. Ty Jerome's been on the team the entire season. Training camp, off season, he's been on the team the entire season.
When they went 15-0, but I speak to experience being different from the regular season into the playoffs. And then the other thing is I don't want to go there with my man Kev.
But I'm not going to keep doing this because again, Donovan Mitchell has had so many opportunities to do this. I'm not going to give him a break. This is his 9th season in the league. 9th season in the league. It's not the first time he's been a number 1 seed. It's not the first time he's been a top 3 seed. He has never been able to win the big game, just like David Largo said. And what I've been saying for years, as long as this podcast has existed, he has never been able to win the big game. He has had good games. Was yesterday a good game? Absolutely not. When you look at the numbers and when you look at his performance, he did not have a good game yesterday. I'm not gonna let people do that. Donovan Mitchell cannot win the big game. He's never been able to win the big game.
But the Pacers made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, right?
Huh?
The Pacers made the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
They did.
Yeah, so they're a good team.
They're a very good team. But what are they? The Pacers were the number 4 seed. The Cavs won 64 games.
That's because Pascal Siakam was out for a big chunk of games, and then when he came back, they was busting chops, right?
Even if that was the case, Tony, were they going to win 64 games?
The Pacers?
If yes,
No, but I think
No.
it would have been right
Pacers
around the
start the year
same. Like,
15-0?
what'd you say?
Did the Pacers start the year 15-0?
No,
No,
they actually started 10-15, and they were at the bottom of the East.
They were one of the worst teams in the East to start the season. Did the Pacers have a defensive player of the year?
but that's I think Benedict Mathurin was out. Like they had a couple pieces, and Nembhard was out. They had pieces out, and
I
then
understand
they
it.
got those guys back who are big time scorers for that particular team.
I promise I understand what you're saying. But if you're a 64-win team, if you're that guy and Donovan Mitchell, if you're the defensive player of the year and Evan Mobley, you go win the basketball game. I don't care who you're playing. You had a better record than 29 other basketball teams this year. Better than the champs, better than everybody else in your conference. You had a better record than all of them. And when the moment is the brightest, when the lights are shining the brightest, they're nowhere to be found. Donovan Mitchell had 2 games. He had 2 really good games.
Yeah, but
One of them in which they lost.
The B or C, whatever you want to call him, Batman or the other person who's part of the group, was out for 2.5 of those games.
If you're Donovan Mitchell, you go win the game. If you're that guy, if like David said, a number 1 on a championship team goes and wins those games. Listen, I don't think he's one of the top 15 best players in the league. You see what Jaylen Brown did today?
Yeah,
he was good. And he didn't need 35, 40 points to go be good. He was fantastic when he needed to be fantastic.
But there were other people on the team that stepped up as well.
Exactly.
So Tone,
What I've been hearing all year, Evan Mobley is one of the best two-way players in the year, in the season. Darius Garland is a very good point guard. DeAndre Hunter is also a very good defender. He's a very good 3-and-D. Jared Allen is one of the best defending big men in the league. That's all I've been hearing all year. Ty Jerome, 6 man of the year. That's all I've been hearing all season long.
What
so when the moment is the brightest, they don't show up. The Cavs are going to make a move. Whether it's because they're not getting Giannis, there's no way the Bucks trade him to a contender in the East. They're not getting Giannis. Their best shot is to get KD if they really want a second star.
Well, I think that he will be to a contender because once he gets there, they're going to contend. The rumors are Toronto or Brooklyn right now is where he wants to go.
Yeah.
So Tone, because I have to point this out. In the 2.5 games that he didn't have DG, were those games not winnable? Were they not in close games and they were winnable games?
One of them, they were up by 20.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. He didn't have a second star. Those games were winnable games.
Yeah, but that's the NBA right now. You up 20. That's what 7 shots. You get 7 stops and you right back in the game. Dude's just shooting threes. We watched Halliburton come down and hit 4 threes back to back at one point.
That's the thing, Tony. The NBA is not a maker's league. When the other team makes a shot, you get an opportunity to go then make a shot. Why isn't Donovan Mitchell getting those buckets when he needs them?
The main guy on that team. The other guys have not been helping out scoring wise. We watched Ty Jerome not shoot well. We watched Max Strus not shoot well. We watched the guys who are actually helping him during the regular season not show up. So he had to put the team on his back, and it was a struggle for him because he wasn't 100% healthy. And that team is actually that good because the media does not cover them. They only talk about the number 1 guy, the number 1 team, and the Boston Celtics. They don't do it. The media doesn't do the digging that guys like you and I tend to do. You know what I'm saying? Like us fellas, when I spoke about how Denver was actually going to have success, when I spoke about how good I thought Indiana was going to be, because you look at the roster and you're like, damn, this is the same team that they had last year. I understand that there's certain pieces out right now, but come playoff time, they're going to have the same exact team and they're going to beat people because they have the same. You now have, remember, Nembhard took us to 6 games.
So who, the Celtics?
Yeah.
No, y'all swept them.
5.
Y'all swept them last year.
Tyrese got hurt game 1.
Oh yeah. My bad.
But
he played well.
Donovan Mitchell is not getting a pass.
I can't give it to him again.
He's not getting a pass.
I'm not saying
For
give him a
25.
pass. I'm trying to give credit to the guys that was whooping at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what everyone does is try to just blame Donovan for something. And I'm like, I don't want to blame Donovan. I won't give credit to the dudes who earned it. Them
But
dudes
listen,
went out
I
there and
didn't just
balled.
blame Donovan though. Like I put it on pause. I put it on DG as well. I put it on Evan Mobley, the decoy. I put it on these other people. I didn't just put it on Donovan. However, now I'm saying that I can't see him as a number one option on a team. I can't see it. He's
No.
had 9 years to do it. He's
None.
had nine
And he's had some
years.
damn good basketball teams. He's had some damn good teams.
So when you tell me that he just needs the right team and he needs more pieces, how much more help does he need?
He's had the time. He's had the time.
No.
He's had the opportunity. And when he's needed most, he has never shown up. He's not getting a pass. Now I understand how good the Pacers are. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They are a very good basketball team. Donovan Mitchell does not show up when he's needed the most. He never has, and I'm almost this close to saying he never will, because he's never been that guy. He's never been that guy in Utah. And now in Cleveland, he's had some very good teams. He's been top 3 seeds so many times. He's made the playoffs every single year of his career. 9 years, he's made the playoffs every single year of his career. He has never once made it past the second round. You have 9 years, and you have never once made it past the second round. You face teams like the Clippers without Kawhi. You face teams like the Mavericks without Luka. And now you face a Pacers team who is really good, but they don't have a top player in the league. You're supposed to be the best player on the floor, and he wasn't.
I'll say this, that his game, and I do think that this other individual has taken a little bit larger step this year, but his game reminds me of Jalen Brunson. And if you're gonna tell me that Donovan Mitchell can't do it, then that means Jalen Brunson can't do it either. And I'm watching Jalen Brunson do it right now. I think that he has a more seasoned veteran on his team, and he doesn't even have the defense that Evan Mobley has. And so if Evan Mobley becomes a little bit better offensively, and they get another defensive threat on the perimeter to help to take a little slack off of Donovan so that he doesn't have to guard up front, I think they're right back where they are right now.
There's 2 main differences between Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson. The first one, Jalen Brunson is just better than Donovan Mitchell. Point blank. The second one, Jalen Brunson shows up when he needs to. Do you know who has the most fourth quarter points through the first 10 games of a postseason in the last 30 seasons?
That's this year though. That's recency bias, because Donovan Mitchell has had very many big games in the playoffs. And so if you give him people, what's crazy is people said the same thing about, I have friends that said the same thing about Tatum. They told me Jason Tatum can't be the number one on the championship team. And then when he won, they had to, and then I'm like, oh, you just have to give him the right, you give people the right pieces and anything can happen.
That's the thing. Tatum showed you he can do it. Donovan Mitchell has never showed anybody that he can do it. He's had the opportunity. Again, he's had the teams to do it. He's had very good basketball teams.
I think if they were healthy this year, they would have given Indiana a much tougher run this series. They were not. They literally, the guy that has helped him, who was averaging 18 plus on the team, he was missing for 2.5 games. Jason telling me they were winnable. So if he was playing, then they might have won.
Jason Tatum in his rookie year was in the Eastern Conference Finals.
His rookie year without the Celtics two best players at the time.
Oh, I understand the difference between Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. I understand that. You don't got to tell me. I know. I thought it was just an asinine argument when the person said it too. Trust me. But I'm not saying that I don't see what y'all see in Donovan. I do think that he could have played better in this, but I also understand that health is wealth, and I don't know how hurt he was. I can't speak to that. I said to me that I didn't think he should have been taking 35 shots a game. This doesn't make any sense. But there had to be something to also the coaching with that. Like your coach is allowing you to shoot 35 shots, and you're not helping.
But Tone, in 2018, it was his rookie year, and he was in the Eastern Conference Finals. We're talking about Jason Tatum. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason he lost is because he met a prime LeBron.
They didn't make it in 2019, but 2020 in the bubble, they were in the Eastern Conference
Finals. And correct me if I'm wrong, every year since that point, they have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. And sometimes they broke through. 2022, they got to the finals. 2024, they broke through. They got to the finals and they won. We've seen Jason Tatum at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's shown us that he can break through and get a team there.
But it was on
Donovan
national
Mitchell,
television that you might have to break up JT and JB because they didn't think that one could be the one.
I agree. We all saw that, and they dispelled it. Donovan Mitchell has never been to a conference finals game.
in 9 years.
9
That's-
years.
What's I need to know, what is it going to take for him to get there?
I'm saying, but you just spoke to the success that this team is having, so you got us in the way, and then on the other coast, who was in the way over there? LeBron, right? And then the Jokic. Or
No.
he wasn't over there
That's
for Jokic.
that's
It was
the
LeBron,
thing.
and then who was it before then?
That's my point, Tony. When he had opportunities, that when he played the Clippers, they were missing Kawhi Leonard. They played the Mavericks. They did not have Luka Doncic, and he lost. He was the number 1 seed that year, the number 1 seed, and he lost when he was needed most. He lost. He's had opportunities. He's never been able to take advantage of them. Donovan Mitchell, yeah, he has the nice numbers. But they are fixed. Like they're not real. They're not real. They don't produce anything. And
I'm not saying that I
the
think
series
he's
against
top 5 in the league, or maybe.
no, but he's not a playoff player. He's just not. He
has
never
the
has
most
been.
50 points in the playoffs in the last decade.
And
It
lost.
hasn't led to anything.
Lost in this series. This is what I'm talking about. Fake numbers. You know what? I'm going to use a football term. Garbage numbers. A lot of people like to use Dak Prescott's passing yards as garbage numbers. Donovan Mitchell, he averaged 34 points in this series, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. He also shot 42% from the field. 42% from the field. He shot 24.5% from 3.
Again, I have to credit that to Indiana's defense, man.
No, because he does this every year. Again, no, it doesn't matter who they play against. He does this shit every year. Tone, I'm not letting you give him a pass. I don't care who he plays against. He did it the same time against the Knicks. He was good. He was good against the Magic last year. He got hurt against the Celtics. I'll give him a pass because he got hurt. He did it. He was okay against the Nuggets. He was pretty good against the Nuggets in the bubble, but lost. He was not good against the Clippers. He was not good against the Mavericks. Every opportunity he's had, he's never been able to take advantage.
Everyone's not great every series. And
he's never been great.
Just said that he played well against Orlando, Denver, and some other team.
But
so that's 3 series out of 9 years.
Yeah, some people lost in the first round. Michael Jordan lost in the first round, like his first 4 or 5
Michael Jordan also won 6 rings. Hasn't even been to the conference finals.
8th season. So you talk about the GOAT won in his 8th season, and this man's in his 9th season.
Are we comparing Donovan Mitchell to Michael Jordan?
No, well at this point because we're talking about playoff success. So Mike didn't have that much in his first 8-9 years, and Donovan has had first and second round success. And so give him, you know what I'm saying?
He's had first round success.
He's had first round success.
He's had first round success.
Never had second round success.
Literally never had second round success.
I just need to know
right now that I'm putting up this much of a fight for Donovan Mitchell. And Kev ain't even saying nothing.
Kev, like this is what's like. You have nothing to say.
Like I need to know how long we're going to sit here and give Donovan Mitchell a pass year after year after year, and me included. I have done it every single year because I was convinced Donovan Mitchell, he can be the guy. They were 64-18, the number 1 seed in the East, and they were coming off of dominant victories in the first round, where they were putting up 50-point blowout wins, and everyone was telling me, this is the year for Cleveland. They look great. So is it really that Cleveland looked great, or was it that the Heat were just that bad? And I think we saw the answer. The Heat were just that bad because they couldn't win when it mattered. You have a shot at the Eastern Conference Finals, and you lose 3 games at home. I can't write him off anymore. I can't until I see otherwise. I cannot see Donovan Mitchell as a number 1 option on a playoff contending team. I can't see it.
For that reason, sorry, not to cut you off, dude. For that reason, he's not a top 2 guard in the league.
No, I think you have to take him out of that conversation now.
He's done.
I think there's 1 and 2, and then there's a gap.
He's done.
When it comes to playing,
Who are the top 2?
AE and Book.
AE and Book.
Goodness gracious.
And then there's a drop off after that. Donovan Mitchell does not compare to those 2 guys, especially based on his performance in the playoffs. When you look at AE's doing in the playoffs, when you look at what Book has done in the playoffs in his career, he does not compare to those guys when it matters most. I've seen Devin Booker carry his team to a playoffs, be the best player on his team to the finals. I am looking at AE do it right now, at least to the conference finals.
I'm like, he got past the Stephanus Warriors, and then for the
We're gonna discredit last year.
the argument of Book.
The best.
What has Book done for me lately?
I thought you were talking about Anthony Edwards. I was about what did we watch last year then?
Oh no, he was frying last year. He was frying,
And he's not doing it this year.
He is. He's averaging 30 right now.
He beat LeBron and Luka in the first round, and obviously Stephless Warriors. But then
That's all I just said is he just beat the Stephanus Warriors. That was all I said. I didn't say he wasn't playing well. He did what he's supposed to do. He did it.
exactly, and now he's in the conference
I
finals.
want to see what he does next round. That's to me where AE's going to earn his stripes.
But the fact is that he made it to the next round. Donovan Mitchell has literally never made it to the conference finals.
But AE got all his guys. Is Julius Randle hurt? I would love to see AE play without Julius Randle. I would. I want to see it.
Evan Mobley was on the floor.
Evan Mobley played.
Mobley was on the floor.
Yeah,
Evan Mobley played.
Okay.
Darius Garland was on the floor.
Darius Garland played.
But 2.5 games, he wasn't. Those were big games in the series.
How many games do you have to lose in a series to lose a series?
4.
So which means you have so they're off the court for 2. You still have 4 other games. And let's also talk about, like, to D'Lo's point, one of those games he was off the floor, the Cavs were up by 20. So the other 2, so which means you have 4 more games or 5 more games to go win the series.
Let me ask y'all this, right? The Celtics were up 20 how many games in the series?
Twice.
The Celtics have proven themselves, right?
Yes.
Was Jason Tatum hurt during those games?
No.
We should have won, right?
Yes.
They were fraudulent.
It just happens.
They were fraudulent.
No. But
they went cold.
But has that happened as many times? Like, does that consistently happen? Tony, when you guys were up 20 last year on the playoff run, did you guys lose 20 points?
I've said it before the series, but even in Orlando, I said, we give up runs. That's what we do. It's what we're known to do. We
last season when you won the championship, you lost what, 2 games the entire playoff?
Yeah, we still dominated because we were capable.
Exactly.
Hey,
we're saying we're not
Mitchell
capable
this
this year?
Series JB a little banged up.
Donovan Mitchell is not that guy.
And Porzingis is playing like, I don't know, like Porzingis is playing, I don't need like a shell of himself. He must really be.
There you go. Gucci ain't no good, bro.
Let me say.
Wasn't nobody talking about that.
Oh yeah. That's
Wasn't nobody talking about that. See, there you go.
That's why he always bragging about Bridges, but I'm like, that gotta be painful watching him have success.
It hurts like hell.
Hey, we can move on though. I've said my piece, Maul. You said your piece.
You dragged my man's team through the mud. I tried. That was crazy.
Don't worry.
That team is not going to win.
That was like a cool 23 minutes of just cavalier slaughter.
If the Celtics would have lost 2 and they still had Jason Tatum, I would be saying the same thing.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, you won't want
I
that
would be.
type of smoke with me. I'd be having all type of details about your Miami Heat you wouldn't want to hear.
Okay,
We're
but okay,
buns.
that's
We're
also
buns.
something we got to stop doing. Like, if we're talking about the Celtics, we have to keep the topic on the Celtics, not
But
just
you're not
because
allowed to
somebody's
call my
attacking.
team a fraud if we made it to this team and then we lose. Like people
No.
lose.
Again, I wouldn't call your team a fraud because I saw them just do the. I saw them just win the championship.
And that's weird to me. I'm
But-
like, you can say that a player had a bad series, but to call him a fraud to me, that's just that's what the media does. Like when I hear him calling certain players bums, I'd be like, yo, this is what you do. This is your job. For you to use such loose language is terrible. Like that's for media, that's for clicks and all of that. To call a player a bum, someone who does this professionally and they're well qualified. There is so few players that play in the NBA. To call him a bum, where he'll cook any and every person who talks about him on a daily, it just boggles me.
That's the thing. They're not comparing him to the guys at LA Fitness. They're comparing him to the guys that he's playing against. And so
and Stephen A was to call Donovan Mitchell a bum, the player who is averaging 20-something points in the NBA, and there's only 30 of them it's less than 30 players doing it. It's like a certain group of players who are averaging above 20.
But like again, here's the thing that we have to stop. Like, I'm talking specifically about us. If we're talking about the Cavs right now, and Donovan Mitchell, because we're talking about the Cavs and D'Lo was going off on the Cavs like that, why would we bring up the Heat just because D'Lo is going off on them? That's something I've never understood. I've never understood. Just because we're talking about your team, and I don't like the way that your team played. Now, then you're gonna try and attack me because my team didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, because you have to have quality context. There's no call my team.
There's no context.
There's no context within that.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. There's no Tony. If we're talking about Jason Tatum and he tore his Achilles, so they're not going to have him next year. So the Celtics may not be as good. So because I don't think the Celtics are going to be as good, you're going to then turn around and talking about my team.
That's not what. No, I just referred to him calling people bums, scrubs, or saying that they. What was the term that you used, D'Lo? Frauds. Again, you know what I'm saying?
So my point, defend that by defending Jason Tatum, not bringing up the Miami Heat.
I just said that. To me, that's you're not making a quality statement by calling a team that loses a series a fraudulent team, especially one that was hindered.
And again, I agree. I agree to that point. But again, defend that point. But you can't defend it by then attacking his team because his team has nothing to do with it.
Because if you're gonna call my team frauds, then I'm gonna call your team frauds.
But that's a childish argument.
That's why I'm saying it. Because that's a childish statement. So if you play childish games, sometimes you win childish prizes.
No. My point is, if D'Lo calls the Celtics a fraud for losing this series with Jason Tatum, you then defend. No, they're not a fraud because they did this last year and they did this last year. So they're not a fraud because our team didn't do it. Right? My team's a fraud. Well, your team's a fraud.
But D'Lo is my team a basketball fan. He already knows all the information that I'm going to provide. So all I'm going to do is stoop down to his level and call his team a fraud. You don't understand
that's a baseless argument. That's the biggest thing.
I'm giving good arguments for why I think that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, great arguments.
That's what I'm saying. So again, that's a debate. But so when you debate, you're debating a certain topic.
That.
No,
I cannot say that because they do no longer have Jason Tatum. This series is no longer the series that it once was, so I cannot compare it to what I was thinking then. Now it's a different ball game.
But the way that the Celtics won games is the same way that they lost games. Do I think that they should have switched it up? Yes. But the same way that they got those leads is the same way that they lost leads. And so to call them frauds is an ignorant argument, whether we won this game or lost this game.
Hold on real quick, D'Lo. Hold on real quick. Real quick. That is real quick. Give me 1 second. I promise it's not gonna be long. I promise. Tone, that is the perfect rebuttal. You didn't mention anything about the Heat. That is the perfect rebuttal defending D'Lo's statement about them being fraud.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear? I understand that. I'm an intelligent brother. But again, I know that Lowe knows everything, all the information that I just provided. I know Lowe knows that.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm not going to waste my time. But,
this is why I was going
that's
to
what this
call
show
them
is about.
fraudulent. Listen, because in game one, we talked about it. Jason Tatum, they were pick and rolling and they were getting Cat on the switch and they were attacking him every time. And in game one, when they were up 20 and they blew the lead, you yourself questioned it. They were like, why did we go away from that? Now we put that on JT, we put it on Missoula. We can put it on whoever. There was a switch there, and they didn't exploit it the entire game. Why? They lost game one because of it. They then game two, they lost game two because of it. Game four, they lost game four. Like this is a team
why
that
did
we
we lose
have
game
as
4?
we have a team
No,
that
no, don't do
why
that.
do we
They were
lose?
already
is-
down by 9. They were already down by
Exactly.
9.
I'm wanting it because he
And-
had 42 points. JT was playing very well
He
inside,
was.
outside, and
He was
in the
great. He
midi.
was-
He was cooking. So why did we
he
lose
was-
game 4?
He was
It wasn't because we went
phenomenal.
out.
It was not
No,
because he went
I'm
out.
wanting to hear. Yeah, tell me why. Since you know it wasn't because of that, tell me why, Maul. Let me hear it.
Because the Knicks were playing well as a team. There was nobody coming along with Jason Tatum. There was nobody going along with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was magnificent. He was the best player on the floor by far for either team. He was the best player on the floor. There was nobody going along with him. In the fourth quarter, it was Mikal Bridges.
JB got in foul trouble, which messed up the rotation.
Again,
I don't know why Joe didn't play Luke Cornett the way he played him tonight, because I could see that Porzingis just didn't have the energy and he was getting cooked all night, whether it was rebounds, offensively he couldn't score the basketball, and defensively he couldn't stop a wheelchair. I don't know what Joe, the pressure was put on Joe to switch up the lineups, but again, I wouldn't have called the team fraudulent because knowing matchups, the Knicks that are healthy right now are a healthier team compared to the Celtics. And I'm like, they just playing great basketball. It's perfect time. And Jalen Brunson is playing awesome. He turned into to the man that he is, playoff B. And Cat isn't a shell of himself.
But prior to game 4, they were evenly split. They were evenly matched when you talk about
Both
the
healthy.
healthier team.
No, JB came into the playoffs hindered, and Kristaps has been sick since the game, the game 1. He played 12 minutes.
And
they're on the
JB
court.
twisted
They're
his
on the court.
ankle in the Detroit series multiple times.
Yeah, but he's still been moving like he can.
No. See, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
The same way to me,
We're not gonna do that.
Jaylen Brown played tonight. I'm like, well, you don't look like you don't look like you played the first 2 games. How the hell are you playing like that tonight?
That's the thing. We're not going to do that. We're not going to say Jaylen Brown's injury was like this, but he was hurt so bad. But then when we talk about Jalen Brunson, one second. So we're not going to talk about when Jaylen Brown, he's hurt. Kristaps, he's so sick. They're so labored. But we're not going to say, Jalen Brunson, he rolled his ankle 17 times, but he's still moving well. No, because they're all on the court. And if they're all on the court, they're healthy enough to be on the court. That's not an excuse. This health stuff, if you're on the court, you are healthy enough to be on the court. If you are not, get off, and move, make some space. Now, sorry, I had to get that point out of the way because I can't. No, we can't do that.
Going back to what I was saying, prior to the end of game 4, both teams were equal, and they were going to be down 3-1. Now, this is the team with the second best odds to win the whole thing this year. They have the second best odds. And you're telling me that they're losing in the second round to a team that went 0-14 against the top teams in either conference. What more definition of fraudulent do you want from me? Is that not fraudulent for this year specifically?
The Knicks, everyone argued, had the best starting 5 in the NBA day 1. People were saying the same thing when the playoffs started. Stephen A. Smith said that he thought that the Knicks had a chance against us. I didn't believe him, and then I seen Kristaps Porzingis playing like he is, and he hasn't played well all series. So I don't like you keep saying that it was even. Our big three is no longer a big three. We missing the piece that we damn near needed to win the game in the finals. Like that, we needed him to get over that hump. He hasn't been Kristaps.
He hasn't been Kristaps since All-Star break. He's had this injury for so long.
But you see what you're
But
doing,
he's
Tom?
been on the court. He's not even on the court.
Hold on. You see what you're doing, Tom? You see what you're doing? When we were talking about the Cavs Pacers, you were giving the Pacers credit for being such a good basketball team, not the fact that the Cavs were hurt.
All I'm speaking to is he said we're even. We're not. Kristaps is not even playing. He's not playing. He played the first whatever minutes of the game, and then he didn't play the rest of the game. And we had much more success with him off the court.
But again, you can't say you can't when we talk about the Cavs and Pacers, you can't bring up how good the Pacers are and give them credit for just being that much better. And you cannot give the Knicks the same credit.
I just gave the Knicks credit. I was only speaking to him saying that we're even. That's what I just said.
See, but I also don't understand that because we talk about how the Cavs were in winnable games and DG didn't play 2.5 games.
Who else was in winnable games, D-Lo?
Not only were the Celtics in winnable games, Kristaps, if you're telling me, is unavailable,
and that's why that they are losing. And then you don't give that same argument for Cleveland.
What they're playing
but
different
they're in
teams.
winnable
What
games.
you mean?
They're in winnable games.
Yeah, but
was games 1, 2, 3, and 4 all 4 games not winnable games for Boston? Could they not have swept this series?
Yeah, but luck of the draw. Foul here.
No, that's not lucky. There's nothing lucky about that.
I'm just saying who showed up that night. One of them, Jalen Brunson, got a foul on Drew Holiday. So if he doesn't foul, they don't foul. They called a bunch of fouls today on Jalen Brunson that I think they weren't calling early in the series. So he's gonna probably play different the next game.
They were up by 20 points in the second half. There's nothing lucky about that. There's nothing lucky about that.
About the Celtics, we were hitting shots.
That's what I'm saying. You were up by 20. There's nothing lucky about the Knicks coming back and winning.
The same way that the Cavs were up 20 at one point, and then Halliburton came down, lighting it up, and people come back. It's just like that.
There's nothing lucky about that. There's nothing lucky.
Yeah, but it's not.
That's called going cold. You guys went cold, and the Cavs went cold. And those were winnable games. Game 1, OT. Game 2 was a 1-point loss. Game 3, y'all won. Game 4, JT was going off in the Garden.
And when he went 42. When he went out, there was 4 minutes left in the game, and the Knicks were up by 9. They had all the momentum.
Jaylen Brown was out for 20 minutes of the game because he was in foul trouble. And then KP wasn't playing like himself.
That's part of the game.
I understand that. I'm just saying the same way Jalen Brunson fouled out today and had 5 fouls in the third today. Yeah, it's part of the game, but that's likely the reason why they were down. I'm just giving you context to the situation.
So again, was it not a winnable game?
Yes, the same way that this was a winnable game for the Knicks.
Okay.
Yes.
It was. In the third quarter, I think it was like a 7-point game, and then they turned up. It was a winnable game for the Knicks, and they didn't make the right plays. Just like the previous 4 games were all winnable games. The Celtics should have swept this series, and they did not.
Real quick, Gucci asked the question. I think this will bring up a whole nother.
Yes, he's getting the Mitchell treatment.
He absolutely. I agree, and I'm the biggest Brunson guy you'll find. He absolutely will, because being up 3-1. And you not being able to close out the series against a team without their best player, he absolutely will. If he does lose the series, he absolutely will.
It also means that the only time he's gotten to a conference finals was with Luka Doncic
as the best player. I absolutely agree.
He would 100%.
I just think that this is a whole nother argument. We'll have to save that for another day.
Yeah, we got to talk about this Wolves game. I've said my piece.
Let's spend a few minutes on this game. The Timberwolves win the series against the Golden State Warriors. Now, again, Stephen Curry was out since game one. At about the first half, he got hurt. And so he's been out the whole series. They win this game 121-110. They win the series in 5 games. Julius Randle was magnificent. He was 13 of 18 from the field. He hit a couple threes. He had 29 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. AE was good. He was 8 of 15 from the field, hit 5 threes, had 12 assists, his playoff career high, had 22 points. Dante DiVincenzo stepped up off the bench. Everybody, there was 6 guys that had over 14 points or 13 points for the Timberwolves. They're well balanced. That's a deep team. The Warriors just had nobody. They had nobody. Jimmy Butler was awful, and he's been awful in this series. 9 of his 17 points came from the line. He was 4-11 from the field. Buddy Hield was terrible. Brandon Podjemski actually stepped up today. He was really good. Draymond Green was awful. Like I like this. I don't know. Jonathan Kuminga had another really good game. I don't know where the Warriors go from here. It's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason, being their 3 key guys are 35 and older, and they're only getting older. It's going to be interesting to see what the Warriors do from here. But the Wolves, they move on to the conference finals again, like the Pacers, for the second year in a row. It's going to be interesting to see who they face. The Thunder are up 3-2 right now. The biggest problem with the Timberwolves, the biggest problem right now is they cannot stop turning the ball over. They had 20 turnovers again tonight. They had 21 the previous 2 games. Anthony Edwards himself had 7 turnovers today, and Julius Randle had 5. They got to stop turning the ball over. If the Warriors weren't so porous, so awful offensively, they would have lost this game because of how much they turned the ball over. Kev, what did you see from tonight? Again, or from this series as a whole?
I just think Golden State just had inconsistent help from anyone that wasn't Steph Curry. It's tough. It's especially tough. Like we talk about JT, and we're gonna talk about Steph as well. A star player like that getting hurt in the playoffs, it's very sad to see. It's very heartbreaking to see. You don't want to wish on anybody, especially for a great like Steph Curry. And you after that injury, you look towards someone like a Jimmy, a Pods, a Buddy, like someone to step up consistently throughout the rest of the games after Steph went down in game 1. You would see occasionally from Jimmy. He had that one big game, but it wasn't consistent enough for them to even have a chance against Minnesota, and it showed. It showed. You just need consistency. You need to play as a team, and go and say they just looked like they were just out of sorts. And that's what happens. That's what happens when your best player goes down.
Tone, what'd you see from the Wolves really tonight and this series?
I seen that again, they got the experience from last year. They're capable of getting it done, but I truly believe that what you said earlier may be the issue that they have in the next round. But yeah, give credit to them for being a bigger and stronger team this series. They were beating up on Golden State. Honestly, Julius Randle put the pressure on who I thought was the runner-up-ish for Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green. I think that this series really said more about what Golden State's going to do this summer and what's going to happen with Jonathan Kuminga and maybe even Jimmy Butler. But I think AE is a rising star, and I'm anxious to see what he does in the next round. I'm really anxious.
D'Lo, what'd you see from tonight and the series as a whole?
I mean, not a whole lot from the Wolves side. Yeah, you got to stop turning the ball over, but they look good. Like I said, not a whole lot to talk there. It's all Warriors. In game 1, when they had Steph had 13 points and then went out, and they were up damn near 20. And it makes you look back and think, like, if he didn't get hurt, this may have been a very competitive series, which sucks. It really sucks to see that, but it's part of the game and it happens. I think the key takeaway, and I can't blast the other guys and then not blast him. I don't know if Jimmy can be a number 1 option anymore.
I don't think that he can do it. I don't know if it's the age. I don't know if it's the mindset. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it multiple times and put teams on his back and carry them to places that they should never be. And he didn't do it. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't looking for his own. He couldn't make anything. Um, I don't know, and maybe it's the way that this team is built, and he just doesn't have the confidence because he entered in at the trade deadline. But ever since the trade deadline, we were talking about it. They were a top team, not just in the West, but in the NBA in terms of not just defensive rating, but record. I think they were only 2 losses in the regular season since they acquired Jimmy Butler or
I think it
something
was
like that when
4.
he
It was
played.
17-4 or something like that.
When he played, they were phenomenal.
They're really good.
And a lot of that you look and see, was this mainly Steph? And I think that the combo of Steph took pressure off of Jimmy, which is why I no longer think that he can be the number one. I just didn't see it in that Houston series. He was on and off, and this series he was mainly just off. I don't think that he can do it anymore.
D'Lo, you kind of beat me to it. That was my first takeaway from really this series. The other one, and Gucci mentioned it, Julius Randle also has something to prove this year. He has something to prove. The Knicks went out and traded Julius Randle because they didn't think he'd be good enough for Karl Anthony Towns now, which is obviously seen to work out so far.
For both teams.
For both teams, right? And so they didn't think he'd be good enough. He's now gone to Minnesota and he's played really well, especially in the playoffs. Now, to the point of Jimmy Butler, I want to say, actually, I don't like I'm feeling that he can't do it anymore. Right? He can't be the guy on the playoff team anymore. But I've seen him do it before. I've seen him do it multiple times. I've seen him do it. The problem is, and you all have played basketball, when you are on a basketball court, you need rhythm. How do you get rhythm? You put up shots. When you put up 11 shots, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. Jimmy Butler needs to be putting up 20 to 25 shots at the very least when Steph Curry is out. The only reason why I'm not going full on Donovan Mitchell on him is because, and Tone mentioned it about Donovan Mitchell, about the Cavs, but I think it really, really pertains to this team, is chemistry. Jimmy Butler is not an alpha male. He's not, give me the ball. Now, he is eventually, but when he gets to that point, right? When he gets to that point, he was in Miami for a long time, 5 years. So he got to that point where, okay, Jimmy is the guy. When we need to go win a game, Jimmy Butler has the basketball. He's been on the Warriors for 2 months, 3 months. 3 months. With a guy like Draymond Green, who you've seen talk to Kevin Durant a certain type of way. Kevin freaking Durant. And he was talking into him like that. What do you think he'll talk to Jimmy Butler like that if he's taking too many shots? Jimmy Butler has to be assertive. That is one of the biggest reasons why this series wasn't necessarily even competitive, aside from maybe game 3. This series was not competitive because Jimmy Butler, for the most part, was not assertive. He didn't assert himself. Game 3, guess what? He asserted himself. Game 2, he didn't assert himself. Game 4, he didn't assert himself. Game 5 today, he didn't assert himself. And none of the games were competitive. Jimmy Butler, in order to bring his team to a victory, again, without a guy like Steph Curry, has to be assertive. He has to be the guy, and he has to let everybody else know that he's the guy. That's the
Gucci got
biggest
another
thing.
one.
Huh?
So Gucci got another one. That's
Yeah,
funny.
That's
funny. That's funny stuff.
Hey, Anthony, AE is starting to become one of those, like he's starting to become a real shooter. But
Yeah, I called him a rising star. My apologies, AE. My
I think
apologies.
he's a star.
He's
I
a
think he's
superstar.
I was gonna say it's a rising super. Like he's
I don't know if
he's
he's a
approaching
superstar.
elite.
Yeah.
He almost top 5. Like
What did you just
he
say?
might be
I don't know.
kicking somebody
What did you just say?
I don't know if I could put him in
Elite?
that superstar range.
top 5.
No.
I said he's approaching. I didn't say he's there. I said he's approaching. Like
He's like
I don't
around
know.
6, 7, 8 tier, right? Like
people about
ranking right now.
I tell you,
That
if he
high?
wins the next series, he's gonna be in the conversation. I put money. Somebody bet me. If he wins the next series, he's in the conversation.
Oh, okay,
This
yeah.
stuff start being had on ESPN.
Hold on. If he wins the next series, he's in the conversation for top 5.
Yep.
Taking who out?
I don't know. Maybe SGA.
You know what? If he wins the next series, you might have a point. Taking SGA out because
You
SGA
can talk about it. SGA, he's on fraud watch.
He is. He absolutely is. He was not good until again he needed to be yesterday. And when
You're also taking out Luka too from that top 5 list.
In the series. What do you mean?
No. He was not good until he needed to be.
But he's averaging 36 and 7 in the series.
All I want to say is in the last game he started 2 for 9, and
Awesome.
that's when I sent in the game chat or in our group chat. I said he was on fraud watch, and he turned it around.
He's averaging. Jokic is averaging like a 24 point, close to a triple double, but SGA is averaging 36 and 7.
Has A passed Luka, or is Luka still ahead of him?
Oh yeah, I don't want to.
It depends.
I still got Luka over AE.
I don't want to hear what Luka had on my list.
Luka's absolutely still ready.
That one finals appearance don't just
because I mean, and did take him on the first round.
Yeah, he did, but he also took Jokic out of the first round last year. Did you call AE better than Jokic? On the second round. Did you call AE better than Jokic?
Well, Joker's an MVP.
Yeah, and all that other stuff. Wait, what Luka got?
Luka, he's got a finals appearance. He's averaged 35.
That's it. That's all we giving him over the man who just
he's been aside from this year because he couldn't qualify. He's been all NBA first team every single year of his career. Anthony Edwards has literally never achieved that
outside of his rookie year.
No, he every single year of his career. I'm pretty sure.
I am almost 100% confident he didn't get it his rookie year.
Maybe he didn't get his rookie year. But other than that, he's been all NBA first team his every single and even his rookie year. He won rookie of the year.
So you're gonna tell me that you're just gonna tell me that Luka's that much better offensively than Ant is? Because Ant is nice defensively. So you're telling me that Luka's that much better than Ant is offensively?
Because I mean, Ant has a jumper. He can shoot the ball.
We'll have to talk about it, man.
We will, but I've seen Luka perform like last year. That was one of honestly
games. He's got some big statement games.
That was one of personally that I've watched. That was one of the best playoff performances I have ever seen in my entire life. What Luka Doncic did last year. And he's been to the conference finals multiple times. He's been to the NBA finals, and he's been the best player on his team doing it. Now, Anthony Edwards is obviously the best player on his team. But Luka was the best player on his team every single game. AE was not the best player on the floor tonight. And he's had moments in which he was not the best player on the floor. Last year, he was not the best player on the floor. There were some games. Cat was fantastic last year. Luka has done it every single year of his career, and he's been the best player on his team every single year.
One of them got traded. The other one didn't.
We'll have some conversations.
I'm just saying. All right.
Me too.
We have one more segment. I know we're already about an hour and a half through the show.
Yeah.
We are the last segment of the night. It won't be crazy long. Pause. That was crazy. My bad. That's my bad. Won't be too long. We have Gumball's Goats, Tony.
That is that time.
Oh, and check this out.
Smile on my TV, you see crap when I'm teasing. Peace on me, sponsored by Reese's. Lately been chasing that set, my defenses increasing. Back on that corner like Durrell Reeves.
We have an intro. We have an intro for it.
I have to double that. Play that again. Let me
I can't. Let me
play that again.
Smile on my TV, you see crap when I'm teasing. Peace on me, sponsored by Reese's. Lately been chasing that set, my defenses increasing. Back on that corner like Durrell Reeves.
Gumball, hey, Tone, we're growing. We're getting better every day.
Woo! You got to have a fire list for that. Let me hit an honorable mention, man. That was heat though. Ooh,
Now it's a little different because I already did a second round of the NBA playoffs, so this is a little different version. This is so far through the MLB season, the top 5 players in baseball.
I like it. A switch up.
Little switch up. Now,
Hold on. You just top 5, no honorable mention today?
I do have an honorable mention. I do have.
Okay.
I thought about it. I put an honorable mention in there.
Okay.
Honorable mention: New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso. He has been one of the top 3 best players in the major leagues this year. He is, he has 9 home runs. He's hitting for a pretty decent average, way better than he's usually hit for in his career. And it's a contract year. He's on the last year of his contract. Or no, he was on the last year of his contract. Nobody else wanted to pay him, so he went back to the Mets, and now he's looking for somebody to give him, $200 million. So far he's lived up to it. So my honorable mention for this week's Gumball Goats, MLB style, Pete Alonso.
Dope. All right. I'm not too mad. I thought you was throwing a cheap shot with all this New York talk. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the man who's
Go Knicks! Go Knicks!
Crazy, man. Shout out to the man for putting in that work, man. Who we got at number 5?
Number 5, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr. is one of the best players in baseball because of his rare combination of elite power, speed, and defensive flair, making him a dynamic force on both sides of the game. So far this year, Tatis is batting .316, has 11 homers, and an OPS of almost 1,000, and he has his team second in a tough National League West Division that also includes the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, and the San Francisco Giants. Tatis is having a very good year so far this year. He is number 5 of this week on Gumball's Goats.
Dope. Way to sneak in your team. It
gets better, brother. It gets better.
Number 4.
Number 4, he just so happens to play in the same city as the GOAT plays in. Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. is the shortstop for the Kansas City Royals. One of the best players in baseball, in my opinion, the 4th best player in baseball. Speed, power, and defense. 3 words you can describe to use Bobby Witt Jr. While his power, yes, it's been a little bit of a slow start to the season. He only has five home runs this season compared to the 32 he had last year. The power is coming along. I promise it'll be there. But he's also batting .312 and is tied in the league with 14 stolen bases. So he's getting on base. He's getting hits. The power is just not followed up just yet. And I know it will because Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best players in baseball. And he's going to show it to everybody this year.
Did you say 14 stolen bases?
14 stolen bases. Menace on the base paths.
Let me hear number 3.
Trace! Tony, I told you it was going to get better. My guy, C squared. Corbin motherfucking Carroll. Corbin Carroll. Let me just tell you something. Let me give some advice to you Major League Baseball pitchers out there who may or may not throw to Corbin Carroll. That box, when you watch baseball on the TV, that box, it's called the strike zone. Don't throw anything in that zone. Because yes, he is 5'10, he's 170. He doesn't sound or look intimidating, right? When you look at him, he's not this guy who's going to hit a ball 500 feet. But Corbin Carroll is one of the fastest guys in the league. So pick your poison, right? You can't just put him on because he also was top 5 in stolen bases last year. Corbin Carroll is tied in the Major League Baseball with 14 home runs and is technically on pace for 50. Now, will he hit 50 home runs? I seriously doubt it. I want him to, but I doubt it. He is one of the best players in baseball this year and could absolutely make a run for that National League MVP award. And if you don't think those stolen bases are coming along, oh boy, you better start watching Diamondbacks baseball.
Hey man, Maul been pressuring me. I got to step up my baseball knowledge, but I will say I've been hearing this kid's name a whole lot, so he must be doing good things, man. Shout out to all you Arizona Diamondbacks fans, man.
Number 2, Dose. Hey, you got to put him in the list. He is one of the greatest players of all time. Only being in the league for 7-8 years, he is one of the greatest players of all time. Shohei Ohtani is, again, Shohei the money. No, okay, my bad. That's my bad. The $750 million man has been scorching hot. as of late. He's batting over 300 at 302. He has 12 home runs, which puts him tied for fourth, I believe, in the league, and also has 21 RBIs. Now, it's been a while, but when he's healthy, he also throws 100 miles an hour, and he's a potential Cy Young candidate. Just wanted to put that out there. So, but even though he plays for the Dodgers, you must be crazy, loony, out of your mind if you don't think this guy is in Gumball's Goats of Baseball right now. He is number 2 on this list, and he is the second best player in baseball as we speak right now, Mr. Tony.
And yeah, if you know him all, like that was this much painful. Again, he got respect for the guy, but it was this much painful. You know what I'm saying? We got Chat Holiday said that's his GOAT. He said that's his guy. Shout out my guy in the chat, man. And then who we got at number 1? You got the bro at number 2. I gotta hit who's number 1. Woo.
You brought up New York, Tony, and this guy, this guy, he might just beat out Jalen Brunson for the guy in New York. Aaron Judge right now is really not even close. Is the best player in baseball. When you look at Aaron Judge, he is a humongous human being. He's 6'6", about 275. He is huge, and he uses all of his body. Pause. I'll put a pause in there. He uses all of his body to hit the ball as far as he can, about 675 feet. Did you honestly think I was going to put anybody else at number 1? Can I just ask you that honestly? Did you honestly think I was going to put anybody else at number 1? Your Honor. See what I did there? Aaron Judge, Your Honor. Okay, again, that's my bad again. He's batting over 400. He's batting over 400. We are just about 40 games into the season. He's still over 400. He's also leading the league in RBIs and home runs. I mean, I'm saying that like it's new. He did the same thing last year. He led the league in RBIs and home runs and won the MVP. Yeah, I know he kind of went viral last year for dropping that easy fly ball in the World Series. Let's not forget, Aaron Judge, Your Honor. That guy that wears number 99 for the Yankees is still the best player in baseball. I don't want to. Let's not get carried away after his blooper.
It's supposed to be a positive show, dog.
Listen, he's still a Yankee.
Man, somewhere my father's watching me. He's celebrating. He's a Knicks fan. He's a Yankees fan.
That is this week's Gumball's Goats. Baseball.
Dope list though. That was a dope list. A lot of Yankee action, a lot of Mets action.
There's a lot of New York stuff going on. There was a lot of New York stuff going on, and Tony, I do have to apologize for that. That's on me. That's on me. Aaron Judge is just built different though. You mentioned some of the comment. My boy John Holiday. He said Tony's. Yeah, he's pretty good. Tony. He's It's hard to argue his greatness. So even though he plays for the stupid Dodgers.
So you put him at 2. I thought I was forgetting somebody. I'm like, huh?
Your Honor.
I did. I forgot about him.
Yeah. Aaron Judge is pretty fantastic. I know you guys aren't the biggest baseball fans. Do you guys have any reactions to Gumball's Goats this week?
So just a question. Who has 14 stolen bases this year?
Bobby Witt Jr.
Jose Ramirez is pretty close to that, no?
Jose Ramirez. Where is Jose Ramirez? Now, Jose,
he's close, right? I think he's at least double digits, right?
I believe he is. And here's the thing. Jose Ramirez is like 30 something, like 36 years old.
He's like 30s, yeah.
He has 12 stolen bases this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also creating some chaos on the base paths. So
he's not hitting that well though, but I mean
with him, he's just such a good he's hitting pretty well. He's been to it 295. He only has 7 home runs, but I'm not the power is it's Jose Ramirez. That guy hits the ball far. But the power is gonna start coming along, but Jose Ramirez is still one of the best third basemen in the league.
When you said Bobby Witt, that's who I thought of, and I'm like, that reminds me of somebody.
Yeah. That's a good call, D'Lo. I didn't even know you knew who Jose Ramirez was. That a boy. Kev, Tone, any reaction to I know Tone, you kind of gave a few words.
Is anyone on pace to break any records this year, especially home runs?
Not yet. Not yet. Aaron Judge, of course, is leading the league, but again in home runs. But he's like amazing at the sport of baseball. But not yet. I know Aaron Judge broke the American League record for home runs. Obviously, Barry Bonds holds the MLB record for home runs in a season with 72. I think Aaron Judge got to 67 2 years ago. So other than that, no, not so far. There was a couple other guys. Paul Skeens I thought about putting in there. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Has an ERA under 3. I thought about putting him in there. Ketel Marte, if he's been healthy, I would put him in there. He's the best second baseman we got in baseball. So, it's definitely.
There's just a lot of guys in baseball that are just really good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's hard to make just room for just 5. It's so hard to do it.
I struggled making this list a little bit. I did. I gotta admit, I struggled. But like the guys I put in there was like again, Fernando Tatis being the best player on the team and one of the best players in the league in the hardest division in baseball. Got to put him in there. He's been fantastic. Kev, what'd you think of Gumball's goals?
I gotta start watching baseball to even comment on any of your goats.
Well, anyways,
that is snuck that D-backs player in there though.
What, Corbin Carroll, boy?
Hey, him in there.
He might just win. He might just win the MVP this year. I'm not going. He might just win the MVP this year. He's been fantastic.
He's gunning for the propaganda. Shout out to AZ Sports, man. Shout out to AZ Sports. He's gunning for it.
14 home run. He just homered. He had a 2 home run game 2 nights ago, and he's had a couple of those this year. Corbin Carroll's been that guy so far. All right, last topic of the night. Looks like D'Lo, your wish you're gonna get granted. We're gonna probably go do a 2-hour show.
We got one more.
We got one more. The NFL schedule was released today.
Oh.
The NFL schedule was released today, so we're not going to go through a whole schedule. We'll do that, throughout the offseason. But this just a couple of the big games that were announced today. The NFL opener, the regular season opener, the Super Bowl champion. Excuse me.
Yo.
My bad. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will host the Cowboys in the first game of the regular season. Do we have any comments on that, fellas?
That's nasty work. That's all I gotta say.
That's 2 of the most undislikable teams in the league.
Yeah, I hate it.
Well, I mean, Casey's up there too, but that's like the 3 most hateful teams in the league.
You just keep giving the Cowboys these primetime games, and I'm so sick of it, dude.
I hate it.
So sick of it.
Literally everybody's going to be watching this game, and you put the stupid Cowboys on there.
Yeah,
I like it. Let them get they whooped on primetime television.
That's also a good point.
It's a great point, Tone.
Watch when Dallas just wins that game too. Like,
if they win that game,
George Pickens go off for 200 yards.
I would even put that in the air.
That's a great point, Kevin. Can you not put that in the universe?
George Pickens 200-yard legacy game.
You shut
your mouth. You put that up there.
You shut it now. You shut it now.
VP.
I would hate to see that on ESPN.
Week 2, the Chiefs will host the Eagles in the Super Bowl 59 rematch.
Damn,
should have been opening game.
Week 2.
Yeah, why would that don't make no kind of sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of early too.
If you're gonna have the game that early, it should be week 1.
If it's going to be that early, it should be the primetime game Sunday night or the Thursday night opening game. If not, you push it to mid to late season.
I agree. I think that was kind of poorly scheduled. Let's see. As they do every year, an AFC Championship game rematch, the Chiefs and Bills. That will be in week 9. And of course, it'll be like it always has. It'll be a afternoon game. It won't be a primetime game, which I just don't understand.
Every time these 2 teams meet, it's a 1-score game. It doesn't make any sense.
Why is that a regular afternoon game?
Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes.
We're just ripping the
best
schedule apart.
Yeah, that's poor. That's poor schedule. I mean, put those two teams on prime time.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
What is the primetime game that week?
That is a great question. I have to find out. I'm not sure though.
Because
Yeah, I'd have
how
to find
much
out.
better do you get than Chiefs Bills? I don't.
Yeah, that's one of the best games of the season every year. That's game of the year candidate every year.
Unless you got something like, the Lions and the Eagles playing prime time or something of that nature.
I mean,
But
every
even then, I don't
Bengals,
think
every
so.
Bengals Ravens game last year was pretty good.
That's also
Good
true.
numbers. That's good numbers right there. Hey, speaking of the Bills, have you guys seen that new Bills schedule release commercial with Allen
No.
Iverson?
Mm-mm.
Where the coach calls Josh, and Josh is like, "Yeah, use AI." And so the coach is just away on his computer, and then he hits, and it ends up calling. He's like FaceTiming, and the other person picks up, and it's AI just sitting there, and he's like, "What's up, coach?"
Why wouldn't he do that for like Philly or something like that?
Exactly. So it's classic because at the end, coach asked him, "Can we get a go Bills?" And AI is like, "Go Josh Allen," and gets up and walks away.
I like that's a smart play.
I was like, yeah, and then one of the linemen comes in and asks Coach, "Did you figure out how to use AI?" And he's like, "Yeah, he picked right up."
That's insane,
I was
bro.
like, that was a hell of a commercial, especially because again, like y'all saying, Philly win the championship. Having him it was just great all around.
Man, that's cool. That's for the Cardinals made their linebacker Mac Wilson made a song. He made a song on about that, which was pretty dope. I do have to admit, it was
For
pretty
the
dope.
schedule.
Yeah, made a rap song.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's on Twitter. I'll send it to you. I think I liked it. I liked it. He was pretty good in it. And so I mean, and he didn't cuss in it. I always like
he got
the rappers who
Rakim
don't have
on.
huh?
He got his Rakim on. Y'all not familiar with Rakim? Don't swear in none of his raps.
A little bit. I know a little bit of rock.
A little bit,
but he don't like it. Just for he doesn't swear in any of his raps.
And that's like talent. That's like
that's
serious talent.
Rakim's nice.
Thanksgiving games. We got it's actually usually this past year was awful. It was terrible.
It's always Lions Cowboys every year, isn't it?
This year, it is the Cowboys hosting Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Why
do I want to watch that?
Why do the Cowboys keep getting these prime time games?
Well, I think it's because Cowboys and Lions they have like the partnership with like Thanksgiving or something like that.
And speaking of those Lions on Thanksgiving, the Lions will also host the Packers of Green Bay.
This is a good game.
And to close that night, now this might be the game of the night. Bengals Ravens.
That's a winner.
Yep.
That's what Kev just called, right?
Yep. Kevin just brought it up too.
I would say the only team that I'm kind of sad that we're not going to see is the Commanders. I kind of want to see the Commanders.
I mean, we're getting a Bears and Commanders game, aren't we?
That is Christmas. No, where is it at? I'm looking at the Christmas games. Let me see. There will be 3 games on Christmas. Yeah. So Christmas again. Okay? D'Lo.
The Chiefs are playing on Christmas. I'm guessing.
The Commanders will host the Cowboys on Christmas.
I'm telling you, the NFL has something.
Insane. Like
Jerry Jones' performance of voodoo to get the Cowboys on primetime games. What is
this is kind of getting excessive. This is kind of getting so the Commanders will host the Cowboys on Christmas. And then the second game will be this should actually be a decent game depending on how Minnesota is doing. But Minnesota will be hosting the Lions. And the night game, which will be on Amazon Prime, will be the Kansas City Chiefs hosting their division rival, Denver Broncos.
Because I think the Chiefs have tried to push the agenda of playing on Christmas every year from now on.
Yeah, the Chiefs might just be Christmas, and then the Cowboys, of course, be Thanksgiving.
Well, Cowboys and Lions.
And listen, all I'm going to say is Jerry Jones, he's performing his voodoo to get them all these primetime games because he knows that he's never going to be in another Super Bowl.
Never.
That's the theory. That's the theory.
Never.
Huh? said he might be on to something. He might be correct with that one.
That's where all his money's coming from because he's not making his money in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So, those are kind of the big. So there will also be an NFC Championship game rematch, of course, because they're in the same division. They'll play twice. That will be in Week 16 on a Saturday afternoon. The Eagles and Commanders. And then I don't know when they'll play again, but
Are we gonna get a Philly and Detroit game?
Philly, that game is not on here. I'd have to go look for that one, but yeah. And then Black Friday, you have the Eagles, and the Bears. I don't know how good the Bears are going to be, so that might not be very fun to watch. But
they might be nice this year. They
could be
revamped that O line.
They might.
They
be.
revamped that O line. They might be nice this year.
Yeah, they lost Keenan Allen. They don't have Keenan Allen, but they still have some
free agent too, which is crazy.
He is, along with Amari Cooper. So, but you go out, you have Cole Kmet, and then you draft Colston Loveland in the first round. You, like Gilo said, the Bears revamped that offensive line. They're going to be interesting.
They'll have Rome Odunze. And
they got Joe Tooney, right?
Huh?
They got Joe Tooney from the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's a Pro Bowl left guard.
There should be no excuses for Caleb Williams. He's going to need to make a jump, just like Rome Odunze is going to need to make a jump. So that's going to be interesting to see what the Bears do. Are there any other games that stand out to you, gentlemen?
Not in particular. I just want to say shout out to the NFL for blessing the Niners with one of the easiest schedules that I've ever seen.
Literally the easiest schedule.
And
statistically the easiest schedule.
Yeah, statistically the easiest schedule, but also on top of that, one of the easiest schedules that I think I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to the NFL for doing that. We needed it.
Yeah.
New England's also second right behind San Francisco too.
New England's really? Oh, of course. Well, yeah.
I can't wait till the 49ers don't make it so I can call them frauds.
You sure? If we have the easiest schedule and we don't, you can 100% call us frauds. I will 100% back you. Brock Purdy will not be deserving to get paid $60 million QB money.
After how amazing and how fun this show was, that was a perfect ending. There could not have been a better ending to that show than what Tone just said right
there. That's real. I'll back you on it. Brock Purdy, all of the Niners, you could call them all frauds. You can call them all frauds because I'll be calling them with you.
As odd as it may sound, I actually used to go for the Niners, so I probably still wouldn't do that.
Okay, well, you ruined it. So you had a perfect ending, and then you
shout out to Tone, man. Shout out to Tone.
Okay, well,
that's a perfect ending.
Shout out to Gucci for watching the whole show.
Gucci, hey,
Wappington, my guy.
Hey, Gucci, bro. Hey, yeah, that huge shout out. Hey, Gucci. John Holiday is always like, yeah. Gucci, appreciate you, man. Like he's here every episode. We got to link up with Gucci like IRL, bro. We got to link up with Gucci. We got like even if it's not for a pod, we just got to go watch a game or something. I think that'd be dope. Oh yeah. See, we got. See, there we go. See, there he go. Why he had to ruin it? Why he had to ruin it? I'm giving you all the credit in the world. And then there you go, bro.
See, we got Cardinals and Niner fans in here. You come in here talking about the Rams.
There you go. See, there you go.
See, out of all three of those teams, who has the most recent championship?
The Rams.
Yeah, see here.
Patrick Mahomes.
Here you go.
Patrick Mahomes. That's all I know. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes.
Get us out of here, Maul. Get us out of here.
Thank you all for watching. I really had a lot of fun this episode. I think there was a lot of good stuff in this episode, a lot of good moments. As always, if nobody else is going to tell you, I'll tell you. I love you very much. I'm very much proud of you. You wake up every day for a reason. You are blessed. Attaboy. Surprised you're not throwing up the blood signal.
Damn.
Just saying, it's typical of you. Okay, my bad. My bad.
Trying to be positive, and here you go again. What you over there drinking? Yo. Put that down, Kev.
I love you. We all love you. We're all proud of you. You wake up every morning because you are loved. Don't ever take advantage of that, and also tell the people that you love. That you love.
What y'all did to Kev?
That is going to close out the show. As always, remember, it is nice to be important, but it is much Much more important to be nice. We love you.
Yeah,
We'll be back
D-Roll.
Friday.
Much
Yeah,
more important.
David
to be
Largo,
nice.
stop calling people frauds.